back to the Haney Biz Project with host Mark Haney.
All right. Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Sun System Technology. I'm Mark Haney, and today I am joined by Carol Berger, president and founder of Berger Rehabilitation. How you doing, Carol?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you for joining me, and we're going to talk a little bit about tough times and how you get through those, and you help people with those kind of things every day in your business. But let's get an overview of Berger Rehabilitation.
Sure. Well, this is our 39th year in
Okay.
business. We started, obviously, 39 years ago. And at the time, things were tough, too. Reimbursement was
Okay.
changing. My employers at the time were two physical therapists here in Sacramento, and they came to me one day and said, "We're not doing this anymore. Too tough.
Oh, wow.
And you can either take it over or go find another job." So I decided that I would take it over.
Just because you can't handle it doesn't mean I can't handle it. I'm Carol Berger.
Well, I wasn't thinking of it that way, but at the time we were doing a lot of work in skilled nursing facilities, and they basically wanted out of that particular aspect of it. So over the first year, we expanded that program, and of course, trying to deal with all the regulatory issues, all the changes that were going on, it was pretty massive. But we started, and we found we were kind of in the right place at the right time. There was a need.
Okay.
And so over that time, we were able to then expand Berger to continue to take on the skilled nursing, the elderly population, as well as open outpatient centers in the region.
Well, tell us what the organization looks like today, because it's not you as the secretary and a few physical therapists. Tell us about the scope of your business today.
Well, we've expanded to be statewide at this point. So we have our corporate headquarters are in Folsom, but we are, and most of our outpatient centers are here in the greater Sacramento region. So we have 13 centers. We've just opened a new one in Rockland.
Nice.
And yes, we're pleased with that. And then in addition to that, we provide contract services for skilled nursing facilities, for acute hospitals, for home health. We provide not only physical therapy, but we provide occupational speech therapy. We really try to look at it as what is the need in the community and what is the need for the patient, the client coming in.
Yeah, and let's talk about that as needs a little bit, because we talk about people going through tough times. Tell us what the patient is facing when they come to Berger.
Well, it runs the gamut. So we have patients who have been injured, who have back injuries, neck injuries, sports injuries, workers' comp injuries, orthopedic. We also treat pediatric cases. We work with neurological issues. We have stroke patients. It really runs the gamut from pediatrics to geriatrics.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine some of the serious injuries that you see as people rehab, people go through tough times. I mean, is it better to help the people who are going through these tough times? Is it better to help them with tough love, or is it better to sort of coddle them as you work through their improvement?
Well, obviously, that's a good question. Obviously, if you don't do the work, you're not going to see the gain from it. And is there some pain? Yes. I think a lot of it, though, is really helping people learn how to help themselves, particularly with the healthcare market, looking at prevention, looking at how do we actually stay healthy and avoid falls. We're doing something with a balance program, for example, so that if your balance is off, you're at risk. And if you fall, now you potentially have another injury to deal with. So all of these types of things, that to me, after 39 years, is what keeps me interested in this field.
Okay.
Is that the opportunity to find better ways to help people and work with them. And whether that's aquatic therapy, we have pool programs, we have independent gym programs, really finding a way to meet the need of the client where they are.
Well, I mean, I go to CrossFit, so I'm imagining you mentioned that your range of patients goes from, it sounds like maybe the elderly who are working on their balance. I need help with that, by the way. But
if you're over 55, you might need help.
I am almost there. I do need a little help with balance, but I mean, at CrossFit, you talked about no pain, no gain. That's my term, but they say embrace the suck. And I imagine, your team, you have these therapists that have to, I guess, get to know their patient and really what the best way is to help that individual.
Right. Absolutely.
And is it? I mean, is it? I'm wondering how you bring that group of people together. There's hundreds of these people that work for you.
Yes, yes. Right now we have statewide over 450 employees.
Wow.
So yes, so really trying to find people that have expertise in a lot of different areas and can, whether it's vestibular or women's health issues or pediatric cases, whatever it might be, trying to help people, trying to make those resources available to them.
And let's talk about your team a little bit. We were introduced by a mutual friend, a woman that used to live a couple houses down from me, Miss Kim Silvers, Silvers HR. She introduced us. But when I think of Kim, I think of team because she helps with HR related issues. I want to know about your team and maybe what the executive team looks like because I know there's a family component.
There is a family component, yes. We have, I have 3 sons, actually, one of which has decided he wants nothing to do with healthcare.
So nothing to do with your business.
Exactly. But
Okay.
the other 2, one is a physical therapist. He's actually taking responsibility for opening up the new sites for us. So he is in the Rockland site,
Wow.
Sean Berger. And then
So he must be a go-getter if he's in charge of new sites. He comes
Yes.
in and sort of makes it happen.
Yes.
He moves molecules.
he moves a lot of things. Yes, absolutely. He's a treating physical therapist as
Okay.
well, and very skilled in that area. So he brings a number of clinical aspects to it. And then my other son Eric is involved in everything from administration and IT and business development. So he's
Okay.
very involved as well.
Okay, and what about the rest of the team? We talked about the kind of skill that it takes to help the patients advance. What do you look for when you bring on a physical therapist? I'm wondering how important is empathy as compared to the science?
So the expectation is when we hire a therapist that they finish school, they actually now are coming out at a doctoral level. That is the
okay.
requirement now. So the expectation is they know what they're doing clinically. Now, having said that, I do think the more experienced that you have, the more years that you have, the better off you are. But we also want those interns. We want those new grads who are bringing some of their own thoughts and their ideas. Coming back to your question about empathy, though, that to me is really probably the bottom line. Can this person relate to the patients that are coming in? Can they anticipate what those needs are going to be? And not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
That's really critical.
And thinking about, this is an entrepreneurial show and so many things in life apply to being an entrepreneur. Empathy is one of those things. You're an empathetic person by nature. How is that empathy, added value to the organization, your personal, style?
That's an interesting question. I think I find myself very often working as a problem solver. That's what CEOs do. That's what entrepreneurs do. Every day, there's a new challenge. There's a new problem to solve. And that keeps it interesting. And I've discovered that I like solving problems. That's fun. I don't like it so much when I can't think of a solution.
That's not fun.
That's not fun. But I do like solving problems. And I think that, just having the ability to do that is great, but I have to remind myself regularly, what is our mission statement? Why are we here? Because particularly in today's environment with healthcare, the problems are enormous and they're not going to be easily solved. So it's very easy for me to get caught up in what the problem is and keep puzzling over the solution. Yeah. And it really helps me. Our corporate office is in Folsom, and it's located above. We have about a 7,000 square foot clinic there with a pool and a gym area. And I love just going downstairs and walking through and seeing who's there and what they're working on and what they're doing. And it reminds me, we have people who've been coming there for a long time on independent programs, and it's keeping them healthy.
Yeah.
It's really working.
The why, the mission, the purpose, the values,
Right.
So entrenched in the organization. And I guess that does start at the top, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if you don't start there, then you don't have it.
Yeah. And just as we kind of close out today, give us your thoughts on Sacramento. You're up to 13 locations here in Sacramento. Tell us about Burger and what you envision for its growth continuing here in the Sacramento region.
Well, things are very different now than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. When we built our Folsom office in 1996, we built a large office, pool, lots of resources and facility benefits there. But what's happening now is that people are really wanting convenience, and time is a big deal. And so if you need physical therapy, I can't tell you how many people said, oh, doctor said I should go and I'd feel much better, but I don't have time.
Yeah.
And if it takes you an hour or 45 minutes to drive to that physical therapy office, and then you're there for a period of time and then another 45 minutes to get back home, you probably won't do it.
Yes.
All right. So what we're looking at, and our clinics, the Rockland Clinic, for example, is small, but it's meant to be a good location and easy for people to access. So we're looking at what does the client really need right now? They need easy access, they need expertise, they need to have their time respected, they need to not have to wait to get in for service. One of the things that unfortunately that's happening in the Sacramento area right now because of healthcare, in some situations there are major wait times to even get in to see therapy. We don't do that. We try to schedule within 48 hours. We make appointments available, and we want it to be convenient and easy. So when you ask what our plans are, I foresee that we're going to add more offices because it's about accessibility and convenience.
Make it easy to get healthy here in Sacramento. You know, when you're going through the tough times, it's nice to have somebody by your side who is as committed to your health as you are, maybe even picks you up a little bit when you're down. Carol, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. Very insightful stuff. And when we return, we're going to have an opportunity to meet the inspirational speaker and the author of the series, How to Love Your Cop. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Audi Rockland. This is the Haney Biz Project.